I will be talking about my self-assessment for my gender study class. First, I would like to go about my different intersectionalities, and an example from my life would be my family, because we consist of white males and females, and we are also aware of other intersecting identities, and it's helped influence my experiences because I know my own standpoint, and I also respect others as well. And without them, I wouldn't be able to have all the different and unique experience I've had with people, and I wouldn't be as diverse as I am now. And if one of my identities were different, so if I was a male instead of female, I would definitely see people differently than I do as a female, because as a female you tend to be more cautious of males, and as males you're not typically cautious of other males. And then a topic that stood out to me was sexual assault and sexual violence, because I was able to learn more about it and about how many institutions actually can be involved with it. And I've also learned that there are people that know what's happening on the inside, yet they don't say anything because they don't want to ruin or harm their business or reputation. They think that's more important. And then there's also many complications that can go with that, and one is when you don't have evidence, because if you don't have evidence in a case like that, it's just one person's word versus another, so you just have to go with what they say and make your best judgment. And sometimes the offenders are good at changing their emotions and trying to play the victim, so it can sway the judge or whoever is in charge of it to put them in favor. And I also can learn more about them because I can research articles and check out sites. And I can also improve my knowledge and skills by looking up those, as well as big issues. And it's also relevant to me in my other classes because I'm a nursing major. So I could be in a situation where I'd have to see if, okay, this patient seems like they might be in an abusive situation, or they might have been sexually assaulted. So it can be very hard to distinguish that. So knowing more about this topic can be beneficial. And then a concept that helped me when I was reading an article was patriarchy. I was reading an article about COVID and catcalling, as they were talking about how with COVID we had to wear face masks so you can't fully see everyone's face, and that women were still getting catcalled despite being covered. So it goes to show that it's more of a gender bias thing. Women tend to get catcalled more than men, although men do get catcalled at times as well. It helped me understand, because before I always thought that men were just lucky they didn't have to worry about being catcalled as much as women. But then I realized in the article that people who are female or women, or who identify as that, can tell that men have more privilege in situations where we are oppressed, because they aren't lucky, they are privileged to not have to worry about that, whereas women, we are not privileged because we have to be way more concerned than others. And then one big topic that is still a concern today is racism, and a way I can help, or try to help in my best ways, is to politely correct others if I hear them say something that is racially offensive, or I think it could be racist, and just politely try and say, like, hey, let's not say that. And then I also can help change or improve it by talking to friends or classmates or teachers or anyone I know about possible common and uncommon sayings that they might hear a lot that are racist, and then keep that in mind and continue to not say those things, and to make others aware that those can be offensive as well. And then I'll continue to also not let the color of skin change how I think and view people, because I don't view people based on how they look, I do it based on how they act and treat people. So I'll just continue to keep that aspect in check. And then I'll also need to work on not being embarrassed to ask if I said something that was offensive or racist, because it might be awkward because you don't want to offend them by asking, but it's important to help educate yourself as much as you can. And then I can also help my family and friends by telling them things that I have learned, and help keep them in check and have them keep me in check as well. And then by doing that, hopefully we can increase racism by making it go down. And we can also be more respectful of everyone, because we're all humans and we deserve to be treated with respect. And that is my self-assessment for gender studies.